Hi, this is Alex from the Pandectes team. Thanks for installing our app. In this video, I will walk you through the entire Pandectes GDPR compliance app so that you know where everything is located. I will not go into much detail about every setting because we do have individual tutorials for that. But I will make an overview in order for you to take advantage of the app to the max. Opening the app, you will be met with a dashboard where you can activate and deactivate the banner. Below that, there is an important part of compliance, the consent tracking. Here you will see a map where you can see from where the users are interacting with the banner, as well as stats about accepts, declines, or partial accepts. This is a good metric and indication of banner performance to see how many people are accepting or declining. Also, by clicking this button in the corner, you can see data for each consent that has happened on the cookie banner. This is useful in order to verify if a consent is real, and can be useful in case of a check from authorities. Another important part of the dashboard is the customer data requests section, where you can see stats about your data requests. You can see how many are still pending and how many you have fulfilled. Clicking on the button here opens the report for the data requests, where you can see details about requests from your customers, as well as mark them as fulfilled in order to manage them easily. We have shown 2 reports pages, but there's one more report page which is very important. This is the scan report page. You can see it here under reports, scan report. This shows all the cookies, scripts, pixels, and iframes that are on your store. This data is presented here through the scans that Pandectes does by clicking this button. You can request a new scan and a refreshed version of all the cookies that are on your store will appear here. It's important to do scans regularly whenever you change services in order to have the list of cookies up to date. The cookies that you see here are automatically presented on the cookie banner or on the cookie policy. The good thing is, when you request a new scan here, after it's completed, the banner and the cookie declaration are updated automatically without you having to change anything. Let's now go to the settings where you can manage our entire app. Since we're still in the topic of the scan report and the cookie declaration, here are 2 important pages to help you with that. In the cookies and HTML storage, you can see all of the cookies that are detected from the scanner, and you can edit them in order to add descriptions or anything else that you would like. You can also add a cookie if you have a cookie that is missing from the list. And the cookies declaration settings, which have instructions on how to add the page, as well as other preferences regarding it. One of the most important settings is the banner settings. You see 3 tabs here. Let's start with the behavior. In this tab, you can manage the behavior of the banner, from the banner type that you're using, the buttons, to the links that appear on the cookie banner, the reopen button, which is needed for GDPR. You can show it or hide it, as well as edit the icon, as well as other secondary settings which might be useful to you. In the second tab, the style tab, you can manage the style of the cookie banner, changing its position, its theme, its colors, as well as adding custom CSS to fine-tune it and tailor it to your business. The content tab allows you to edit all of the texts that appear on the cookie banner, as well as add a logo or choose a cookie image from the gallery. 2 final things for the banner settings. Here you can choose to show the banner only to admins, which is good if you want to test the banner before sending it to production. A useful button here is the preview button, which allows you to preview your changes before you save. Now that we talked about setting up the banner, let's talk about how the banner talks to other services. The integration settings allows you to set up Google Consent Mode v2, Microsoft, as well as other services which are integratable with our app. Notice that here the Shopify Customer Privacy API and Global Privacy Control are enabled by default, so you don't have to do anything about them. In the auto blocker settings, you can configure apps to run only after consent. Here you have a list of some popular third-party services, and if the service that you're using is not included here, you can always add a custom rule to block that service. We have videos about all of this on our YouTube channel. Another setting for the cookie banner is its visibility, which you can of course tweak in our app. You can have the banner shown globally to all your visitors or restricted to specific regions that require it. Let's say, for example, I only want to show it in Europe and the US. You can do that here. If you now have multiple languages on your store and want to show the banner in multiple languages, here is where this settings page comes handy. The language and translations page. Here you can configure your default language as well as add other languages. When you add the language, it becomes unpublished, and here you can edit the language in order to change the texts from the default values to whatever you like, if you want to do that, of course. After you do that, you can publish the language so that it's visible to your users. How a language is selected to show to the user is based on the language detection, either from store locale, browser preferences, or IP. You can choose how that happens here. Similarly, with the cookies declaration, there are other privacy pages that are needed in certain laws. For example, customer data requests. This page is needed in almost all privacy regulations, and it is a similar page to the cookie declaration. You can see the instructions to add it here, as well as other configurations to the text and the CSS. Same goes for the Do Not Sell My Data page. The settings page is very similar to the other pages. And finally, some other settings to further fine-tune the app. For example, email templates, where you can customize the templates that go out to your users whenever they're sending data requests, as well as notifications to choose how you get notified for data requests. The Reset Users Consents allows you to reset all the consents so that the banner appears to all users again, in case your privacy policy changes. And last but not least, the checkout block allows you to add a cookie banner to the checkout if you have a Shopify Plus store. Now you know where everything is located on the Pandectes GDPR compliance app, and you can get to setting it up. Don't forget that if you need help with anything, there is the chat support down here below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in order to not miss any updates regarding privacy and Shopify. Bye.